Hey guys, Devall from ToyWorldOrder.com here. Also Draper, of course, because we're talking to none other than David and Erik from Boss Fight Studios. Of course, those of you who listen to the show know Erik's been on the show quite a few times, talking with us over the time. We haven't had a chance to succumb David to our wacky craziness yet. Maybe someday we'll induct you into the insane. But we're hanging out, checking out the awesome Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S Series 1, and we'll talk about Series 2. But I gotta admit to you guys, we had talked on the show, the fact that these figures in person are simply amazing. And to you personally, which I was told last night to tell you personally, that skeleton is simply magnificent. Magnificent. You guys have done such an amazing job with this line. And of course, from where you guys have come from, you know, if people don't know, if you listen to the show and you still don't know who the heck these guys are, then you're really, really out of your minds. Because Boss Fight, you guys are some of the most amazing sculptors, period. I mean, in this scale, it is stunning. Everything you guys have touched has been amazing.
Well, thank you very much. We're blessed to be able to work with such talented design team as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's just beautiful. I mean, from all the Gorgons down to the Spartans, you know, just amongst the whole line, they're simply stunning. And the fact to see them up person, like to see these Gorgons in person, and to see the amount of detail and the articulation in them are simply stunning, guys.
Well, thank you.
Tell us a little bit about, I mean, how cool it is finally to start to see these come to fruition after everything you guys did with you know, the Kickstarter and the design elements, and to finally get to have people finally see them more and more in person. It's got to be really a cool.
It's always great to show these off in person, and everybody always says the same thing, that, oh wow, I didn't realize, you know, how detailed they were until I got to see them in person. And you know, we also, like you mentioned, the articulation, and the whole premise behind this is to make highly articulated figures. So you know, we really push our limits and the limits of what's possible, you know, with that snake tail and with the type of articulation we've included in the skeleton figure, you know. So that's kind of part of our mission statement, and you know, hopefully when people get them in hand, they'll be saying the same thing about the range of motion that they're talking about the detail of seeing them in person.
Yeah, no, I just look, I literally want to reach around and play with one, because I'm like, I want to have one in my hand. But I mean, just simply, you know, looking, we had discussed the paint job on the spectral ones,
the celestial
ones, and pictures and video do those no justice. They really do them no justice. And to see those in person, and just to see the translucency and the you know, the paint apps and everything on them are just.
I think those might be becoming the fast fan favorite of the entire set. And it's not, like you said, it's not until somebody actually sees it that they're like, whoa, that's, you know,
and they were part of the stretch goals, and you had to, you know, you had to be a certain part of the stretch goals to get those. So anyone that's going to buy them after the fact, because you guys are going to, those are amazing. But not only with Series 1, I mean, the skeletons, that's got to be a first for this scale, for the posability, the articulation of what it took to get that skeleton to this level, because that was a late stretch goal. As you guys were scrambling towards the end of the Kickstarter, you started adding like just stretch goals to see if they'd happen, and the skeleton was like one of the last ones that was added. That's, hey, we'll try to do this skeleton.
Well, we were really, you know, pleasantly surprised how well the Kickstarter went over, and we never thought we'd hit that skeleton figure, you know, but to have hit it and then exceeded it, it's just you know, incredibly humbling, and you know, we're very thankful to you know, all our fans for the great support we got. But then after having unlocked it, we then had to create it. So it was another challenge altogether, and in the VHACS model, we wanted to really you know, do something as true to a skeleton as we could. And
now where the skeleton's going to be, because the main draw with the Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S, really, not only are they amazing looking, they're beautiful, but also the main draw with a lot of people of them is the fact that Dave and I like to say you guys created this great the butt screw method. Yeah, it sounds dirty, but it's not. Where basically the figures are held together with a screw in the bottom. You take them apart. You can take the figures completely apart and interchange all the parts to make your own creations. can you also do that?
Skeleton as nice aesthetically and functionality wise, as well as durability wise. It may not be as easy to customize as the other figures. For example, it doesn't have the same hip system.
Right.
Considering the hip joint on the skeleton is smaller than the pin on the other figures.
Right.
So but also you will be able to disassemble it, but more like you would a modern current figure that's available.
Right.
Like maybe you do the boil and pop method if you want to disassemble that one.
Right.
And the reason is that we want to make sure that at the small size that it doesn't fall apart on you. So we want to make sure that it holds together during posing on that particular figure. We think
Awesome. But not only is Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S Series 1 in full effect, but also the drawings for Series 2, which I know that Dave, and I'm going to let Dave take over for this because Dave's super excited about Series 2.
Yeah, I mean, I've always dreamed, one of the reasons that I hate Krios is because they teased me with Dungeons and Dragons toys, and then they were just Krios. So I've always dreamed of a 4-inch D&D wing. And I know it's not officially, but it's that whole fantasy, Tolkien-esque, and these things look amazing. When we were here the first day, looking at the pictures, like the spell book and the crossbow, and so can you tell us a little bit about what's going on with Series 2?
Yeah, Series 2, like we said, it's fantasy, and like we did here, we're trying to push limits and change. We don't want it just to be Dungeons and Dragons, or we don't want it just to be,
I know.
Tolkien and or Lord of the Rings. We want to push and try and take those key things from what makes a Middle-earth story and play it up and make it ours and change it around. So we do, we're going to have characters. There's going to be, and this is just the waves, where there's going to be exclusives. There's going to be 2-packs. There's going to be single packs, extras beyond this. So, and we have, we have different things. We have a psionic. We've got mage. We've got dragon harvesters. We've got a naga. We've got multiple elves and fairies. We have a barbarian. We have a couple of knights. We have a dark knight. We have orcs. We have a female orc wearing a human skull as a mask.
That is super cool.
And her club, like all the orc stuff is all like hastily put together, and it's poorly crafted. Her club has dragon claws sticking out of it.
Oh, nice.
And, so we're really trying to play like the staff with the
and the thing is
fire that comes out of the book.
Yeah.
Like it's going to clip into the book,
neat.
so it'll be like the fires in the book. And then the other mage has like water energy instead. So
Gotcha.
Using it all.
And what I was going to say is like you see the detail here, and like a lot of this kind of art, you would see that detail, right?
Yeah.
But you look at these things, and that's going to be on the toy.
Yep.
I mean, a lot of times you see these pictures, and then the final toy is just a solid piece of plastic.
One of the things we do is we tend to look at a toy design as the same as like comic art.
Okay.
Where if the writer is bad, even if the art's gorgeous, it's not worth reading. If the art is gorgeous but the story is terrible, it's not worth reading. It takes, and if the inker can mess up the penciler, and the colorist can mess up the inker and the penciler, and so. But when a comic is great, it's when everybody's firing on all cylinders. So we're always trying to do that. We're always trying. It's not just one of us. It's not the designer. It's not the sculptor. It's not the deco. It's not the paint. It's all of us together working as a group and pushing. There was a lot of stuff that Fred and Dave added to some of the designs here, like all that intricate work, inlay work on Medusa's armor and everything. That wasn't in the drawings, but they added it. They just took that next step, and it was brilliant. So I'd imagine all the stuff that's in here that it'll probably be punched up again, and and that in every step, every creative decision that makes it better is what we need. We all need to be making. So I'm just expecting this. I can't wait for this line because it's going to be so cool.
I'm excited for everything. I legitimately mean that. The minute it went up, I was all in, and I can't wait for this to go up so that we can either Kickstarter pre-order, because we heard the interview with our friend Pixel Dan. So, but you're planning on you're hoping to have like a pre-sale kind of thing.
That's the hope. We're hoping to avoid a Kickstarter for this one. because we're hoping that the sales from this will carry forward, and we may do a pre-sale. If we do a pre-sale thing, we're going to have everything more ready to go and move faster than than the Kickstarter went. But that's the hope, because you can't run a business doing Kickstarter after Kickstarter after Kickstarter.
Obviously.
Not if you want to play with the big dogs.
Yeah, you want to be self-sustaining.
Yeah.
And you don't have any pictures here, but I've seen a couple of pictures for Series 3,
Series
which
3.
I am as equally excited about. I mean, like every time you come up with something, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I love that retro sci-fi thing that you got going on in that series. It's just, this is literally, the toy line that I wanted somebody to make. Every series is something that I've always wanted somebody to make. And not only are you making it, we were watching you set up the case, and I was drooling. I mean, I was not exactly kidding with Jason, like, distract them. I mean, they're gorgeous, they're amazing, and they're articulated, and they have cool accessories, and they're just, I really cannot say enough about this toy line. I love it. I'm so excited to get these in my hands. You have no idea. I mean, I told you on the podcast, my basement is like Manhattan. There's no free space. There's a blank shelf just for this stuff. That's how excited I am for this line.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot.
Thanks for your support on the Kickstarter too.
You had me at Medusa.
Yes, you did.
You did.
Very much so.
One of the things that I think Erik missed out on was the half-orc mage comes with a little cage with a fairy in it. Oh, cool. And that fairy is
it's the fairy. It's the same as that fairy.
That's awesome.
And it hangs from his staff like a lamp.
That's cool.
And that was the other thing that we all were talking about off camera from our buddy Dan's interview, is the fact that you guys are worried that people are going to get these and ravenously open them up and display them on the shelf, but the thing that you guys need to remember out there is that you need to take the time to look, especially if you listen to the show with Erik, to look and read the bios on the package and admire all the work that's gone into it, because there's a story there.
There's a larger story that links it all.
You mentioned that on the podcast.
It'll all be connected, including sci-fi to ancient Greece. It'll be there. It's just gonna unfold. We're gonna unfold it slowly, because that's more fun.
But it will be very gratifying.
It'll be hinted. It'll be hinted from the beginning on the bio cards. So
remember, when you guys get your gigantic boxes of boss fight stuff here in the next couple months, I imagine.
Hopefully.
Take your time and open them and admire them and take everything that these guys have put into this line, take it all in, and love every second of it, like we're going to. So
we're trying to create that same nostalgia that you got reading the bio cards, brilliantly written by Larry Hama, who we cannot hold a candle to. But getting that character, like you knew that character by the time you read that.
Yeah.
And that was part of that toy line. It was part of the greatness of that toy line.
Now officially closed, so please make your way for the exit. Dealers,
Okay.
got a few minutes to wrap up. Please move as fast as you can. So we can
Well, I guess that's our cue, gang. But thank you to Dave very much, Dave Proctor. Appreciate it,
sir.
Of course, our good friend Erik Araña.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, guys.
Make sure you check these guys out on Facebook. Go and like Boss Fight Studios on Facebook. As you heard on the show, that's usually the place where you can find all the latest news on Boss Fight. So make sure on Facebook you check out Boss Fight Studios, and then make sure you stay tuned to ToyWorldOrder.com and Toy World Order on YouTube, because here in a couple months, once Dave gets a gigantic box on his doorstep, we will be doing gigantic in-depth reviews on this whole line. So make sure you check that out. So, gang, from JoeCon 2015, of course, as always, I'm Devall.
I'm Dave.
And remember,
Keep playing with your toys.
thanks a lot, guys. Take care,
guys.
gang.
Thank you.